Hello guys and welcome to the first episode of our brand new La Liga career mode here on the channel. Today we're starting a brand new adventure as we take over as head coach of Sevilla as we look to rebuild this team to the not so distant glory days where in the past decade Sevilla have won the Europa League 5 times including a three-peat between the 2013-14 and 15-16 seasons. Over the last couple of campaigns, Sevilla have really struggled, and it feels as if they've sort of lost their identity. In the last 2 seasons, they finished 12th and 14th respectively, and again look set to finish just above the drop zone this season. For a club that were dominating European football not so long ago, they have really fallen off over the past few years. So I'm taking them over here to complete a full rebuild and look to win them their first La Liga trophy since the 1940s. The club has also won 5 Copa del Rey trophies, with the last of those coming in 2010, and have never won at the Champions League. So despite being a hugely successful club in the past, there is certainly some history to be made here with Sevilla. Yes, hello guys and welcome to the first episode of our brand new career mode save. We are here with Sevilla after we closed out the Stoke City career mode recently. If you guys haven't checked that out, definitely make sure to go and watch this. It was a really enjoyable career mode. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stick around. I have also just created some memberships for you guys that have been around for a while. So if you do really want to support the channel, then now is the time, and I would really appreciate that. But of course, the main reason is to make some great career mode content, and that is what we are going to be looking to do today. So of course, in our saves, one of the main focuses is really on the youth academy. So I'm going to jump straight in and see if we've got some decent youth scouts. We've got a couple of 5-star, 4-stars. I'd like a 5-star, but do you know what? We'll go with Carlos Sada from Moldova, and then we'll hope we get a 5-star. There we go. Adam Depour, as he will join us from Belgium. But yeah, in the previous career mode, we had some real luck with the youth players, namely Bilal Guic, the Bosnian goalkeeper that we had in our Stoke career mode. So going to be looking for some homegrown talents first off. Of course, I always like to keep one scout in the nation that we are playing in. So we're going to be sending one of our scouts to Spain, and I think I might actually look for maybe just a striker, maybe the next Spanish striker. There's been some great ones over the years. Think back to the likes of David Villa, Fernando Torres, even going further back, Morientes, players like that. And yeah, looking for a Spanish striker. Let's send Montoya on his 9-month mission. Well, I'm going to send my other 5-star judgment scout out, and with Seville being such a huge city in terms of the trade, the port in Andalusia was such a major part of the trading with the New World for Spain. So yeah, they've got great transport links. I think I'm going to send another to Europe, and I'm actually thinking might send one to Portugal, close to Spain of course, so sticking close to home, but just moving across the border into Portugal, looking for some more young talents, and they really do have some great young players. I'm going to look for some more attacking based players. We'll go left mid, right mid, and attacking midfield from Portugal. And I think for our final scout, I would like to go to some of the new nations, but I think for this first year, I'm going to try and keep our scouting sort of realistic. And Seville Airport has great connections out of the city across Europe and specifically to Northern Africa, and it's quite easy to catch a flight to Morocco from Seville. So it's not a new nation, and it is one that I think I've probably scouted before at some point, but looking for some Moroccan defensive based players. Of course, the main Moroccan player that sticks out is Ashraf Hakimi, and we're going to be including right back on our scouting along with centre back, left back and CDM. So that'll be our 3 scouts sent out, and we should hopefully see the first scouting reports later on in today's episode. Well, guys, you would have seen the squad as we introduced the new save, and there are a few players with their deals up at the end of the season that are going to get new contracts. Those being the fullback Jose Carmona, who I really like the look of as a right back, our backup keeper Alvaro as well, and the youngster Diego Hormigo. As for the rest of the guys with their deals up, a couple of them may be sold. Dario Benavides, I think, is probably going to leave as we've got sufficient backup at fullback. And the striker Alvaro Pascual as well is likely to depart in this window. So 3 contracts given out to start off the save, as well as our limited budget is spent on keeping our players at the club. Right, well, with those players tied down with those new contracts, I have to say, I actually think the squad's pretty decent heading into this first season, and I'm pretty happy with some of the young talents that we've got as well. In terms of departures and incomings, there probably won't be too much movement. I think there will be a few players, maybe Antonetti, maybe Mejia and Benavides, who may leave. As for a few of these other youngsters, they may go out on loan. But in terms of permanence, I'm not going to make any big moves in this first window. So let's just start simming through, diving into the transfer window, and I'll let you know of any incomings or outgoings. Well, guys, 2 quick loan deals going through there. Stanis Idumbo heading out on loan to Valladolid for 2 years, and also Manu Bueno going out to Twente for 1 year as well. 2 young players that look like they could have some decent potential. But as for this bid here for Kike Salas, I'm definitely not selling him. Just 22 years of age, and I do think he could be an option for us. Left-footed defender as well. He is not going anywhere. Well, guys, we are absolutely flying through the transfer window. As I don't really want to bring too many players in for this first year. As I've said, I want to keep it similar to how the squad is in real life. But we have got our first batch of scouting updates. So let's see if there is anybody making the cut. It's been a while since we've done some youth scouting on the channel, but unfortunately from Spain it doesn't look as if anyone's making the cut. As for Morocco, there's a few players in here that could be okay. We'll keep the scouting on these 2, and Fatih Naji looks like he could be pretty good as well at just 14 years of age, but we'll keep the scouting on him for now. And as for Portugal, unfortunately just the one player we'll keep the scouting on, Andre Nogueira. We'll keep the scouting on him, just 13 years of age, as we look to get a better idea of his potential. So not the greatest start with the youth scouting, and we're about a fortnight away from our La Liga opener against UD Las Palmas. So we'll see if there's any more deals going through, but if not, I think I'm just going to head straight through to match day 1 of the season. Well, guys, 3 quick loan deals going through here before we get to match day 1 of the season. Collado Dominguez and Ramon Martin all heading out on loan for this season. And there goes our first permanent sale of the transfer window as well. Dario Benavides heading to Montpellier for 1.4 million. We've got 2 really good fullbacks on that right-hand side, so he could have some decent potential, but he's just never really going to get any game time, so I'm happy to let him walk. And that takes us to match day 1 of the new season, as we will take on Las Palmas away from home. They've got a really interesting team this year, although they are struggling in real life right down at the bottom of the table. As I say, some interesting players, the likes of Ollie McBurney, Scott McKenna, Sandro Ramirez, just some really random players, but hoping to get a win in match day 1 of the season here, as we take on Las Palmas away from home in Gran Canaria. Vamos Sevilla. Yeah, really looking forward to getting into our first game of the save. And one thing, or a couple of things that I want to just touch on very quickly as we jump into our first game. A few sort of rules and regulations that I am adding into this save to make it a little bit more realistic and a little bit more exciting is, so I'm going to be using the squad registration rulings that they use in La Liga. So you can only actually have 25 players registered, and obviously youth players don't count, so you can call up youth academy players and players not in the senior team, but it's a 25-man limit in your squad for the season. Those players have to be numbered 1 to 25 in terms of their kit numbers as well. So I'm implementing that sort of challenge into the save. I did it in my Girona career mode last year, and it just makes things a little bit more interesting having only those 25 players in the squad. So that's why I've loaned out a few of the youngsters, and I'm looking to shift maybe 1 or 2 of the senior players on. But in terms of the actual main squad, I want to keep all of those players here that have been there in real life, as Fabio Silva races away and opens up the scoring for Las Palmas. It's taken them 20 minutes, and they've put a dagger through our hearts in our first game as Sevilla coach. Adams to Pedrosa, a player that I've actually used before in FC, and that's a lovely ball into Adams. Can he finish off the post? And Jasper Cillessen claims the loose ball. Should really be 1 apiece. I've gone for Adams as my main man with Isaac on the bench. I think it's Isaac Romero, the young Spaniard, but I've gone for Adams, and he couldn't finish his dinner there. Oh, what a ball. Fabio Silva for 2. Bosh. In off the crossbar. Lovely move from Las Palmas. And we look set to taste defeat in match day 1 of the new season. That's good pressure by PK. He gets it back and he's in. Can he finish? PK onto the right foot. Lovely goal. And the youngster, who's got great potential, definitely one to keep an eye on throughout the course of this save, opens up the scoring for Sevilla, gets us on the score sheet and gets us back in the game. Ball forward, Fabio Silva looking for the hat-trick. Fabio Silva steps away. Oh my goodness. What a wonderful finish. Completes his hat-trick and restores the 2-goal cushion for Las Palmas. He has torn me apart today. So, oh my goodness. Did the keeper get a touch on that, or was it straight over? It was a touch from the keeper. And with us being 3-1 down, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try my luck. And my goodness, it was not too far away as Suso hits one over the top, but still hunting that halfway line goal, man. Well, there's the whistle, and it's all over here in Gran Canaria. Terrible result to kick off the save. And that man, Fabio Silva, absolutely tore me apart. A hat-trick for him on match day 1. And a day to forget for Sevilla and their new head coach. Let's get back to the menus and potentially look at bringing in a new signing, because that was atrocious. Well, guys, I think I am going to make my first signing, and it will probably be my only signing of the window as well. Don't know much about this lad, but currently playing at Osasuna, just 22 years of age. Got a great name, Aymar Oroz. Don't know anything about him, as I say, but looks like a decent player. Physically, he's got a bit of pace about him, nice agility, decent balance, but technically this guy looks absolutely fantastic. Good ball control, good dribbling. He's got a good finish on him, and passing as well, long and short pass, is very, very decent for such a young man at just 22 years of age. Don't know much about him, as I say, but I'm going to bring him in as my one and only signing of the summer. Yeah, I really like the look of this guy, Aymar Oroz. Great name as well. Reminds me of Pablo Aymar. What a player he was back in the day. But just really, really good technically. He's not the quickest, but he's got a little bit of pace. But across the board, technically, he is very, very solid. I do see him as probably more of an attacking piece than a defensive piece. But he does look like he can play slightly deeper as well. So for, what was it, 16.5 million? I'm pretty happy with that signing, as he probably will be our only pickup of the summer. But anyway, we're going to jump into our next game. Tough one following on from that loss against Las Palmas. First home game of the season as we return to the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan as we take on a Villarreal. Looks as if they got off to a winning start on match day 1 as they currently sit in 5th place. So expecting a really tough game here. Vamos Sevilla. Is Luque Bacchio down the right hand side. He's the one who's got a bit of quality in this team, and we've got to look to him to find the goals, as Adams is rolled through and couldn't hit the target. Second game in a row he's had a decent opportunity Hit the post against Las Palmas, but can't even hit the target here. Carmona forward to Adams, who got slightly deeper there to pick up the ball. Luca Bacchio spins away from Pedraza, and he's the man that we need to look for. Luca Bacchio went for... Somebody finish it! Somebody finish it! It's a spot kick, I think. Oh my goodness, we've got to get the ball to Luca Bacchio. He's the danger man, and every time he gets on it, he looks like he's going to make something happen. PK is fouled in the build-up, but it will be Luca Bacchio with the chance, as Luca Bacchio just about places the ball into the back of the net. His first goal of the season, Sevilla's first goal of the season, and we lead in our first home game of the season. As Jose Perez down the left swings the cross in. Pedrosa does well, and now there could be a chance to break. And Ajuke is rapid, finds PK, and Ajuke's gone again. Instead it will come infield to Adams, and now find its way to Ajuke. And Sevilla have two, both the wide men on the score sheet, as Ajuke gets his first of the campaign. And that was a lovely swift counter from Sevilla, and this is much better after our defeat on match day 1. Forward into Vissa, now Jose Perez. Parejo finds Pepe. Pedrosa, look at Loic Barde storming through the middle, and still Barde, and still Loic Barde. What a run, and what a finish as well from the big central defender. Won the ball back and then stormed forward up the pitch. An unlikely goal scorer, but Loic Barde rounds off the victory with the third. Well, that's going to do it here full time at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. And what a result for those home fans in our first game at this stadium in the save. We lost away from home in Gran Canaria, but bounced back with the perfect performance here. And Loic Barde rounding off the victory with a great goal. And he's one of those players that I could definitely see staying long term. This first season is all sort of about players auditioning to stay in the team. And Loic Barde's looked pretty solid in the opening couple of games. Well guys, it's been a pretty decent start to life in Seville. 1 win and 1 defeat in our opening 2 games, but that second game at home at the Sanchez Pizjuan was much better from Sevilla. So we'll close out with one more game, taking on Mallorca away from home and looking to end the episode with back-to-back victories. Vamos Sevilla. Oh, Salas does well, given the nod today. He gets there first, and now PK. And Salas has gone again, and there's Ajuke for 2-2. And he's another, like Loic Barde, who I'm really getting on with in the early stages of this save. Ajuke bags his second in as many games, and Sevilla lead again. Kacinovic over the corner for Mallorca, headed in. Oh my goodness, how did that stay off? Or off? It out in? No, it's not going to matter anyway. Oh my goodness. How did that header stay out? But it doesn't matter in the end, as Mallorca level things up. And Agume, given the nod today in midfield, spreads it out wide to Luca Bacchio, who is the threat down this right-hand side. Still Doddy. Comes infield. There's a 1-2 off Mascarell. And there is Agume through the gap for PK. And the youngster gets his second goal of the season. Scored a consolation on match day 1 in Gran Canaria. But here, second away game of the season. Second goal for the youngster. Oh, ball slid through. Mariki. Angles tight. No. That's never a penalty, ref. Never in a million years. And Salas is penalised. Oh, there's nothing in that. Get up off the ground, Mariki. As Rodriguez scores. And Mallorca fight back for the second time today. That is never a pen in my eyes. He's gone down so easily there. Ajuke into Aymar. And Isaac. And Isaac, can he get his first goal? Yes, he can. And Adams hasn't scored in his opening 2 games. Isaac, off the bench, grabs his first of the campaign. Mallorca fought back twice, but we will claim all 3 points. And guys, that will do it for today's episode as well. The first one of our new La Liga career mode. I'm really excited for this save. I loved our La Liga career mode last year with Girona, and I think that this year's is going to be equally as good. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you want to get some extra perks, as I mentioned earlier, I have remodeled the channel slightly. Big shout out to my brother-in-law for helping out with that, and also we've started memberships as well. I've put everything collectively into one, so that if you do decide to become a member, you'll get access to everything in one go rather than them being tiered. So I understand it's a lot to ask for. I don't expect anyone to join, but if you do want those extra perks, then feel free to become a member, and I'll catch you in the next episode of our La Liga career mode very soon. Take care, guys. Love you all, and peace.